What up, guys? Welcome to a new video. We're going to talk about the Game Balance Manifesto that came out yesterday. And I didn't want to put this out yesterday because I really wanted to think about what they said, because when I first initially read it, I was rather not happy about it. So I decided to think it overnight, just so that I could get my thoughts together and think of like, what exactly does this mean, how does this affect us, what positive there is and what kind of negatives there are, and let's dive right into it. Let's just go ahead and read just a couple things and then we'll just hit some target points in here. This is alongside every new league, we aim to make balance changes to a wide variety of character systems to improve build and playstyle diversity. Okay, this exactly means we're nerfing the top like 3 to 5 type of character classes that were being played and those skill gems associated with them. Okay, that's exactly what it means because they do it every league. So we know if we go by what PoE.Ninja is for the top builds, we can kind of see here that the top playing builds are going to be Blade Vortex. Okay, that's 32% of the top 99 to 100 level 99 to 100 characters are playing Blade Vortex, so we know that's one that's going to get nerfed. Cyclone is at 12%. I don't know how they're going to nerf Cyclone, but I'm sure there's going to be some way they're going to do it. Summon Carrion Golem, Connect, Blast, the rest of these are kind of the same, but we know that Carrion Golems are always extremely powerful, especially at the beginning of the league start, because there is a 0 gear requirement. It is strictly off of gem levels and off of your passive tree. We can see that we were going to have some nerfs. So what are they changing? Okay, we'll kind of skip the low life, which is actually really important actually. So low life, they changed from 30% to 50%. That's huge. Okay, that's going to be a big difference, because instead of only having 30% mana and life to be considered low life, low mana, or whatever type of you're going into, you now have that extra 20% of life that you didn't have before. So instead of like saying, oh well, I have to hit that 30% cap so that I can get into that low life category to get that extra damage bonus from the passive tree, right? Well, now you only have to go to half life, which is like 1 skill gem if you have no mana reservation, right? So that is a lot better, a lot easier to hit that cap. So that is actually really good. These other skill gems are going to be really interesting. We won't really know what they are until the POB comes out, until we can start messing around with it, so we'll kind of just leave the rest of it alone. Now the passive balance is kind of crappy. Right here, it's a certain modifiers provide more rewards than the average reward granted in less passive. So they had their chance of rewards effectively lowered, right? So it's kind of a big nerf there. Vol skills, whatever, just some balances that they needed to do on there. The ones that are really important here are the skill balances. Okay, these include Blade Vortex, Blade Blast, Toxic Rain, General Cry, and with channeling skills, and Seismic Cry, Carrion Golem, and Vitality. Those are all nerfs, guys. Huge nerfs. So as you can tell by the PoE.Ninja, here we go: Blade Vortex, Blade Blast, Toxic Rain, channeling skills, Carrion Golem, Vitality. Like, we knew that those were gonna happen, but it's unfortunate because we like to go Carrion Golems towards the beginning of the league because it's really easy for boss killing. And just generally just running through everything and have everything destroying. So that does hurt a little bit. However, they didn't say anything about specters, and specters this league was actually pretty good. That's what I used for my boss killing, was specters, and there wasn't too much of an investment. And the best part about specters is that the main item, which is your helmet, does not need to be harvest crafted. Vitality, I can see that it was just too strong. Frost Bomb, Wave of Conviction, everyone was using Wave of Conviction for like any type of lowering of abilities, so that one's obviously going to be nerfed. Flesh and Stone was nerfed. It increased mana reservation by 10%. It's just like a lot of things have been nerfed. It's great. So why is that good? Because if you looked at the way that, you know, Pewee.Ninja said, it is way overpowered. 32% of the population of the top players are playing Blade Vortex. That's really high. That's crazy high. Crazy high amount of people playing Blade Vortex. So that's actually a really good one. It's unfortunate because that was actually our character, but they made a big change right here. Hexproof. If you are hexproof yourself, you cannot hex yourself. So self-curse builds, goodbye. They're gone. Okay, since you are not your own enemy, you cannot be hexed on yourself. So temporal chains, bye-bye. It's gone. There's no more temporal chain self-cursing builds. Okay, it's gone. Poison Sextant, they basically just removed it. But they did put a passive in the passive tree to be able to associate that. I'm assuming it's going to be on the that side of the tree, just because it is going to be in the poison section, which is generally on the assassin's side. So it's going to be there, but it's going to have a lot less cap. I'm assuming it's probably going to be 10. Instead of 100, it's probably going to be 10. So they're going to cut it by a huge amount. We won't know until later this afternoon when they put out the actual patch notes, but that's my guess. So is it going to be beneficial? I mean, yeah, it still gives somewhat of a bonus, but it's not going to give the 1200%, right? In the 600% movement speed that it had before. It was overpowered. It really was. Along with, you know, Blade Vortex on top of that, it was just crazy, right? So that's good. Now here's one that they said in the video that they lied about. They lied. They said beef splitting would create the, you know, similar to mirrored, it will have the split tag on it. They specifically asked, what about fossils? Are fossils going to change that? Chris Wilson said no, and then he's like, well, let me talk to the dev team. No, they did not make changes to that. Well, they lied. They realized their mistake, and they said, we are actually doing it, and now splits cannot be split again. So if you use a fractured fossil on a 100% delirium map, it can only split once, and both the original and the copy will have split on them, therefore making them useless to split again. Therefore, 100% delirium maps, the way that we've been farming them, is out the door. Now it also affects the blueprint system as well, because if you fracture a blueprint, it's going to do the same thing. Now this is good and bad. Good because, you know, people were just, if you had money, you could get into these and you could just do them forever, right? And there was no real investment into it because you were basically guaranteed to make your money back on each map. Like there was like no possibility that you could lose. Like I ran like 40-50 of these, and I think only one of those did I break even. All the other ones I made at least an X on top of profit, you know, either from the gear that drops or, you know, just the raw currency that was dropping on the ground. It was insane, right? So same thing with blueprints. Like you could run the currency blueprint or you could run the gem blueprint and you get tons of currency and gems. Like it was super easy, but they don't want that, right? They don't want one person focusing strictly on one thing without having anything, which is funny because, you know, they have the whole Mavens fights, which allows you to essentially farm certain content. I don't know. So they took both of those out. They're gone as well. However, you can still use a mirror on the map. I don't know anyone who would ever use a mirror on a 100% Delirious map. That's just stupid. Another nerf, we have Atlas missions. So you know how you used to be able to continuously do alpha missions and you would basically have like a 90% chance that it would sustain. You'd get like 2 of them. So they removed that. Okay, so they made it so you cannot do that anymore. Then of course, you know, they made some passive changes on here. You know, they basically nerfed aura effect, so area of effect, skill duration, area effect, speed, projectile, and cluster notables. Given you could stack multiple of the same notables passive tree. As a result, we have made smaller numerical nerfs to several cluster dual notables to grant the above stats. So basically they nerfed aura stacking. I mean, it's been overpowered since Harvest League, right? So this is like League 3 now that it's been overpowered, and they keep trying to nerf it, but they just can't seem to do it. So they nerf it again. You know, like there's just lots of changes here. They're all nerfs. I mean, there are very few positives, but I get where they're coming from, right? So I get that they're trying to make it so that you can play a bunch of different builds and they all feel the same. I get that. They don't want one build that's going to be more powerful than the rest. Now, is that going to happen? Of course it is. There's always going to be some way for someone to figure something out that is extremely overpowered. There are a couple builds which have not been touched, to my knowledge, and they are extremely strong. And we will probably be playing it if they don't touch it today in patch notes. So let's pay attention for that. Hopefully it does not get nerfed. I think for now we're going to be starting minions and skeletons just because they are extremely strong still, and we won't be going really towards carrion golems just because they're freaking nerfing it again for the 3rd league in a row. And we are just going to stick to minions and skeletons, get to our blighted maps and level up into our blighted maps and get some of those oils. We're gonna see if we can do some of those corrupted to get the corrupted oils. And the new changes to the blighted maps are huge. So quantity is now affecting the blight chests, which will give us more if we increase the quantity, as well as getting the new corrupted oil, which will allow you to put a anointment onto a corrupted amulet, boots, gloves, chest piece, you know, the blight specific items. They can all be anointed, so that will be really good, and we'll try to get those as fast as possible. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding the bell for future videos, as we will try to put out another one this afternoon as well with the new patch notes on there. And until next time, guys, peace out.